What did the frog order at McDonald's? French fries. What does a frog say when it sees something great? Totally awesome. Why did the frog go to the mall? Because he wanted to go hopping. What do you call a frog that crosses the road, jumps in the puddle, and crosses the road again? A dirty double crosser. Mrs. Peterson phoned the repairman because her dishwasher quit working. He couldn't accommodate her with an after-hours appointment, and since she had to go to work, she told him, "I'll leave the key under the mat, fix the dishwasher, leave the bill on the counter, and I'll mail you a check. By the way, I have a large Rottweiler inside named Killer. He won't bother you. I also have a parrot, and whatever you do, do not talk to the bird." Well, sure enough, the dog, Killer, totally ignored the repairman. But the whole time he was there, the parrot cursed, yelled, screamed, and about drove him nuts. As he was ready to leave, he couldn't resist saying, "You stupid bird, why don't you shut up?" To which the bird replied, "Killer, get him." At the airport for a business trip, I settled down to wait for the boarding announcement at gate 35. Then I heard the voice on the public address system saying, "We apologize for the inconvenience, but Delta Flight 570 will board from gate 41. So my family picked up our luggage and carried it over to gate 41. Not 10 minutes later, the public address voice told us that Flight 570 would in fact be boarding from gate 35. So again, we gathered our carry-on luggage and returned to the original gate. Just as we were settling down, the public address voice spoke again. "Thank you for participating in Delta's physical fitness program." A drunken man gets on the bus late one night, staggers up the aisle, and sits next to an elderly woman. She looks the man up and down and says, "I've got news for you, you're going straight to hell." The man jumps up out of his seat and shouts, "Man, I'm on the wrong bus." Two blondes were flying to Miami from Cleveland. 15 minutes into the flight, the captain announced, "One of the engines has failed and the flight will be an hour longer. But don't worry, we have 3 engines left." 30 minutes later, the captain announced, "One more engine has failed and the flight will be 2 hours longer. But don't worry, we have 2 engines left." An hour later, the captain announced, "One more engine has failed and the flight will be 3 hours longer. But don't worry, we have 1 engine left." One blonde looked at the other blonde and said, "If we lose 1 more engine, we'll be up here all day." This is Captain Sinclair speaking. On behalf of my crew, I'd like to welcome you aboard British Airways Flight 602 from New York to London. We are currently flying at a height of 35,000 feet, midway across the Atlantic. If you look out of the windows on the starboard side of the aircraft, you will observe that both the starboard engines are on fire. If you look out of the windows on the port side, you will observe that the port wing has fallen off. If you look down towards the Atlantic Ocean, you will see a little yellow life raft with 3 people in it waving at you. That's me, your captain, the co-pilot, and one of the air stewardesses. This is a recorded message. Have a good flight. A blonde went to a flight school insisting that she wanted to learn to fly. As all the planes were currently in use, the owner agreed to instruct her by radio on how to pilot the solo helicopter. He took her out, showed her how to start it, and gave her the basics, and sent her on her way. After she climbed 1,000 feet, she radioed in. I'm doing great, I love it, the view is so beautiful, and I'm starting to get the hang of this. After 2,000 feet, she radioed again, saying how easy it was to fly. The instructor watched her climb over 3,000 feet and was beginning to worry that she hadn't radioed in. A few minutes later, he watched in horror that she crashed about half a mile away. He ran over and pulled her from the wreckage. When he asked what happened, she said, I don't know, everything was going fine, but as I got higher, I was starting to get cold. I can barely remember anything after I turned off the big fan.